Morning. I'm going to just get us started so long. I know there's people still coming in. We will bring them on board as the morning progresses. My name is Kobus van Wijngaard. I'm Associate Professor in Systematic Theology at the College of Human Science. I'll be your program director for the day, so you might see me coming up every once in a while. I know that by now, after a couple of years of lockdowns and people starting to learn how to live online more effectively, you probably know the space. But let me quickly just say how the platform operates so that you can get the most out of the day. So it's a Microsoft Teams event. You will note that your cameras and your mics have all been switched off. That's just to facilitate a more streamlined conversation so that we don't have voices and images suddenly pop up in the middle of meetings, and also to protect you so that you don't actually accidentally share something with a broader group that you didn't plan to. But everyone is able to utilize the chat function. Let me do this. So if you look at your screen right now, you are able to utilize the chat function and the Q&A function. So we welcome that you participate in that way. Actually, I want to invite everyone in the meeting to quickly go into the chat and just leave a brief message to say hi to everyone, maybe share which part of the country you're from, so that we get a sense of who's joining us for the day. There's an extremely good team that's also with us today that will be responding to all your questions in the chat. So if you have anything regarding your honors process that you're wondering about, you're welcome to just leave a question in the chat. Even during the presentations, there will be people responding. If there's a question that you have regarding what's being presented, just leave it in the chat. I promise you we will get to it and you will get a response to that. With that, it is my privilege to welcome the Executive Dean for the College of Human Sciences, Professor Zed Nkosi, to give us a word of welcome. Professor Nkosi comes from the health sciences, and she's been our dean for a while now, and someone that we know is really dedicated to students and student support, and we welcome her into this space to start this day for us. Professor Nkosi, over to you.
Thank you very much, Program Director and the organizing team, for giving me space just to welcome you all. Firstly, before I start, I just want to congratulate the students that have joined us because they have successfully passed their bachelor's degree. So students, on your react button, may you kindly clap hands for yourself. From the react, yes, feel free. I just want to see people clapping. You did so well, you know. I just want to see a flood. Okay. All right. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I saw few. And welcome to the College of Human Sciences, which is one of the biggest colleges at the University of South Africa. The biggest one is the College of Education, followed by CAMS. And with CLAW, we more or less have got the same more or less number of students. So we appreciate that you left all the universities and you came to the University of South Africa. And as the College of Human Sciences, we welcome you all. We said our motto is we define tomorrow. The vision of the university states that we are shaping the futures in the service of humanity. So as a College of Human Sciences, we are here to support you so that you realize your dream. In brief, the College of Human Sciences is made up of 3 schools. We've got the School of Arts, the School of Humanities, and the School of Social Sciences. You need to know where your departments falls into. The School of Arts, we are more on languages, communication sciences, information sciences, visual arts, and music. In the School of Humanities, we are having theology, a cluster where you get your systematic theology, missiology, biblical and ancient studies, and then religious studies. We've got also the Department of History and the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology. Then the School of Social Sciences, it's where all your social science modules are housed. We've got the honors in psychology hosted by the Department of Psychology, where 3/4 of our honor students reside. And we've got a Department of Health, we've got a social work, sociology, development studies, and political sciences. So as you journey, you will understand and see where your department falls in, because our qualifications are based in those departments. We've got this honors project where you are expected to take 120 credits. You are free to spread your credits as you feel like, based on your availability and also your responsibility, because if you are working, you need to balance your work life, your student life, and also your family life. So look into the credits and see how you can journey through. Usually, most of the students, they take 2 years to finish their honors degree. And then the full-time students, they can finish their degree within a year. But there is a team which is going to share with you on what is expected. Mine is to welcome you and wish you that we want you to get it right from the beginning. That's why we dedicated this time to say, please come along, ask your questions. There are people who are going to support you. As the College of Human Science, we've got dedicated support for students. If you are having any challenges, there is a team that is allocated to respond to your needs. You will remember that in your undergrad modules, you had to do so many modules. Most of them were pegged at 12 credits, 10 credits. Now we are moving to 24 credits, but it will depend on how you choose your modules. Even the Bloom's taxonomy now, we are now at a higher level where we want you to demonstrate your understanding in the concepts that are shared by the lecturers. We want you to synthesize the information. We want you to talk from your experiential background now and relate to the information that is going to be shared by the lecturers. Also, this is the stepping stone for you to be introduced to the research module. From the honors, you move now to the masters. So I would love to say thank you very much, students, for allowing yourself to be exposed to the honors module, because we will be able to solve our societal factors, crisis, if we get a higher layer of knowledge generation. I'm not going to too well in your studies to say you started on the right track. We are here to support you. We've got a team that is going to unpack all the resources that are available that will assist you to realize your dream. Thank you very much, Chairperson. This meeting is open. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Nkosi. So for those of you that have just joined, I know there's a number of people that came in the last 5 minutes, welcome. And just take note that your cameras and your mics are switched off, but you are more than welcome and invited to communicate with us via the chat button. So even if you put your hand up, we won't be able to allow you to speak, but please use the chat. We are monitoring it and we will be responding to your questions. I want to welcome Ms. Zuzeka Mkrau, who's really the energy behind this event and a great support resource for our honor students. Ms. Mkrau is going to give us an overview on the CHS honors program. Zuzeka, you are welcome to take the stage.
Thank you very much, Kobus. Let me share my presentation shortly. I hope you are able to see. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zuzeka Prudence Mcha. I'm from the College of Human Sciences, and I would like to thank you for taking the time and joining us this Saturday morning and being part of our Honors Open Day. So I will provide an overview of our CHS Honors Program, and you've heard from Prof. Nkosi. She has already touched on the schools that we have and what we offer under those schools. So we have what we call the School of Arts, and we have the School of Humanities, and we have the School of Social Sciences. So the College of Human Sciences houses these three schools. So we offer a number of honors programs from all the above schools, and our honors degrees allow students to specialize in a specific field of study and conduct research in that area. So majority of the time you will have to do a research report, but it's nothing too hectic, but it's just to give students a background and an understanding of research. And for those that want to study further, you will have an idea of what is expected of you when you do your master's degree. So an honors degree is really just to lay the ground for you and offer you some understanding. So what you see on your screen is the departments that fall under the School of Arts. So we have a number of them, and some have a lot of degrees of honors programs that they offer under their departments, but some have a few. So what I think you need to do is just to take time and do your research and find out what you are interested in and what you qualify for. So these are the programs that you will find under the School of Arts. Students with a degree or who are currently completing their undergraduate degrees may register for honors programs, which is a one year to 2 years qualification, which is required for you to qualify for your master's. So we do have students that take 2 years to finish their honors degrees. Some do finish their honors degrees in 1 year. And majority of the time, those are students that are not working. So you are advised to work hard and get good marks in your undergraduate studies for you to qualify for an honors degree in our institution. So we encourage you to really apply, but also look at the admission requirements. But I know Ms. Prinsloo will speak more about the admission and application for honors degree in the College of Human Sciences a bit later on today. So what you see on the screen, you will also see when you go into our website. When you look for College of Human Sciences at UNISA, these programs are there, and you will be able to click on them and see what is required of you and the modules that are under each. So the School of Humanities offers a variety of programs under the different departments. So our honors programs consist of a combination of coursework and a research project or a report. So the coursework component provides students with the advanced knowledge and skills in their chosen field, while the research project allows them to explore a specific topic in depth. So when you do your honors in other departments, you will be provided with the topic that you might need to do for your honors report, but in other departments, you are allowed to choose your own. So I do hope that you will apply with us and take up this opportunity. So once a student completes an honors degree, it is expected that you should have some level of theoretical engagement and intellectual dependence. So our honors programs offer that. So once you complete your honors program, we believe that you will be ready to continue into your master's degrees and later on into your PhD. The country is going through a lot, so we do hope that you also position yourself better by making sure that you study further and for you to get more opportunities in life. So we also have, lastly, the School of Social Sciences. It doesn't have too many departments, but this is my school. I fall under sociology. So while you are still researching on what to study for your honors, you might notice that some qualifications, for some qualification, you will not be able to register as a professional or practice unless at least you have a 4-year qualification. So majority of the time, that will be the psychology qualification where you have to be registered with a certain body for you to be able to practice. So students are really encouraged to carefully read the guidelines of your qualification and to understand what is required of you. Before you even start with the qualification, it's important for you to understand what is required of you. So studying for an honors degree is extremely worthwhile and it is valuable, especially if you are looking to grow as an individual, as it will provide you with an understanding of theories in your field, research methodologies, techniques, and relevant techniques that are relevant to your field, and an understanding of how to apply such knowledge in a particular context. Some people do their honors degrees so that they can qualify for a master's degree. Some do it so that they can get a promotion at work. But for whatever reason, I really do hope that you do consider to study with us at CHS. And we have quite a lot of support that we provide to our honors students. And if you do happen to apply and then register next year, I will be also hosting early next year an orientation session for honors students, just to take you through the support that we offer to our students and many more things. And I will be also the person that you can run to next year when you need assistance and not sure of what to do. Okay, so for research, when you have to pick a career, please make sure that you do your research properly. But I know we have Miss Lisa Dazer from DCCD who will take you through the career journey today. So please feel free to engage with her and ask us questions, and we will respond to you on the chat box. So thank you for allowing me to give you an overview of how our honors programs look in the College of Sciences. And I do hope that I will see you next year, and I will be sending you the orientation invite. Thank you very much, Kovas, and thank you very much, everyone.
Zuzeka, thanks for that introduction. And I can just say to everyone what she said at the end, she is really the person that you can run to, and you will get amazing support from her. Zuzeka, we really appreciate the role that you play. Friends, you're going to see we move quite quickly through the presentations. You might find that a few minutes later you realize there's something that you weren't clear on, that you still have questions about. Please just ask it in the chat. You can refer to the presentation and we will still respond to the questions. There will also be a more formal question and answer session towards the end for anything that we still might have missed. I know that the next session is probably for many of us the most important part of a day like this, and that's financial support services. Mrs. Mpofu, please, we welcome you. We know this is under our current circumstances immensely important for our students, so we're looking forward to the assistance and guidance that you will also provide to them.
Yeah, thank you, Program Director. Thank you, greetings to our colleagues and the students. My name is Mr. Mpaho. I'm from the Division Student Funding. We offer the postgraduate bursaries. So I'm going to present to you the financial support that we have for you. We offer a bursary for postgraduate students, and then what I can say is, who are we? We are the UNISA-DSF postgraduate bursaries, and that our bursary is divided into 2 sections, of which is the bursary applications and the award section. So on the application section, that's where we deal with your requirements to apply for the bursary. If you meet that criteria, that's where then we do offer you we approve you for the bursary. But then there is another section of which is an awarding. Awarding simply means that when we have been approved for this bursary, now it must go to other section where we should award you in terms of registering you. But here we have some challenges since our bursary doesn't have enough money to cover everyone. On the application section, we will say to you, we offer or we approve you from 60% average, but we find lots of students that have achieved very well in terms of exam results. So it becomes difficult to start at an average 60, and then while we have lots of people that have scored a high percentage of marks. So we mostly start from there, and then our funds get exhausted at that level. Like for instance, this year we approved the students from 60% up to the maximum, but we managed to pay the students who have scored 75% upwards, and then the funds were exhausted on that group of students. So if you really need to be covered on this bursary, you need to perform very well so that you stand that chance. So our challenge on this one is that the application section will say to you the bursary is approved, but when it goes to awarding, then we say to you we didn't award you because of limited funds. So it is actually based on that explanation that I gave in terms of average rate of marks. So just bear in mind with that's how these two sections works. And then we offer these two bursaries. We offer the postgraduate diploma and honors bursaries and the masters and doctoral bursaries. So as soon as you are completed with your honors, you still have opportunity to apply for our bursary, even though we don't cover the master's student at the first level, but we will give a brief explanation because we do have this kind of event to invite our honor student to give more explanation, because we will have an entire team from the student funding to give you the explanation. So also what we have realized on these two bursaries, especially the masters, we have realized that most of South Africans doesn't know about these bursaries, and then they're struggling with funds while we have bursaries. So please, time and again, visit our website so that we can see the bursaries that are available. Other than this, we still have other bursaries that the donors will just come and say, we offer this bursary for this kind of qualifications with this kind of performance. So when those donors come, we put them on our website. So please visit that website time and again so that you can view what is available for you. So normally our applications opens on the 1st November every year, and then you just visit the website. When it's updated, then it will give you an opportunity to apply. So student needs to be temporarily registered for 2024 for registration to be activated once application is successful. Here we also have a challenge where the students will apply for the bursary. The bursary is approved, and then they stand a good chance in terms of performance to be awarded or to activate the registration. But we find that our students did not make temporary registration. Some of the students think that when they have applied for the bursary, it's the bursary administrators that must also register them, do everything. No, we need your registration on the system once we find it. then we are able to activate your registration. Even if you score high marks and then you put your registration at a later stage, because we can't wait for you to put on registration. By the time you put your registration, you'll find that the funds have been exhausted. We use those funds for other students. So please, as soon as the registration is open, and then you put on your temporary registration. And then who can apply on this bursary? We need the South African citizens who have completed NQF level 7, and then the UNISA undergraduate qualification by 31st Jan 2024 at an average 60 on the entire qualification in the module. So you see now the 60% that I was talking about, yeah, it's also confusing a lot of students because we got 60% we say is approved, but on the awarding side we can't cover you because we have to start with the high performing students. It is also good to start with them for the process to be fair, because it was going to raise even more questions. You find most students at the 60% average have been covered, but you find students at 90, 80 who are not covered, especially in this college. The students on this college are performing very well. They score lots of higher marks. So yeah, who cannot apply? We don't offer this bursary to our UNISA permanent staff members. Also, students who already hold postgraduate degree at the same or high NQF level to the qualification registered in 2024. So this means if you have obtained a honors or any other postgraduate degree, we cannot offer you because we need to give other students a chance to also have at least one postgraduate degree. And then all final outcome communication will be communicated to students through my live email. We also have more students that are inquiring with us using their private emails. So the university doesn't allow us to communicate using private emails. So we appeal to our students to strictly use my live email when they communicate to us. What does the bursary fund? Due to limited funds, we are not able to cover the books and so on and so on. We only cover the tuition fee, and then yes, and then the tuition fee can only cover you for 2 consecutive years. So if you come in for the bursary on the 3rd year, we are not going to also be able to cover you because we need to give others chance as well. So when you get this bursary, just ensure that in that 2 years you complete. And then yeah, the bursary does not cover failed or repeating modules or the historical debt. On this one also, we find lots of students who have a historical debt applying for this bursary, hoping that it will cover their outstanding debts. We don't cover that. And also we get lots of inquiries. The student will say, I've been approved for the bursary, but why didn't you pay the full amount? It is because we don't pay for the repeating modules. Even if the previous modules were not covered by the bursary but are repeating, we don't cover them. And then bursary does not fund special study programs. Yeah, like this one's PGC, we don't cover them. And then also the non-degree purposes, we also don't cover that. And then yeah, note that awarding will be provided from the highest to the lowest performing students subjected to the availability of funds. This is the one that I have explained at the beginning. As per average calculation on the entire undergraduate qualifications. So our average, the way we calculate it normally, I think it differs with how it is calculated on the side of the academics. What we do on our side, we add up all the modules that the student has done, repeating past all of them, and then we divide by the number of that number of modules. Then we get the average. And then on the honors side, we calculate from 3 modules. If you have done the 3 modules, we are going to calculate the average based on the 3 modules that you have done under honors. If you haven't done 3 modules, we're going to, maybe you've done 1 or 2, then we're going to use the average that you have obtained under your undergraduate qualification. So UNISA gives no guarantee that the bursary will be awarded to all eligible students, as the bursary is subjected to the availability of funds. So I've explained this at the beginning. Yeah, and then how do you apply for this bursary? You just visit our website. Then there is you'll find on my UNISA there, when you open, it's gonna take you to my UNISA. You look at the link that will say bursaries and loans. And then under bursaries and loans, that's where you'll find the postgraduate bursaries, the undergrad. When you open the postgraduate bursaries, you will find all the bursaries that covers the postgraduate bursaries. And then here we also have a challenge on this one, program director. Our student doesn't read the terms and conditions. So it's like now they're applying for the bursary that they don't understand how it works. Later they come with a lot of questions, or later they don't understand why this has happened, why you didn't award, why, like lots of things that I have applied there. So please take time to read those terms and conditions so that you can understand the bursary fully. Some mistakes that are done by most of the students is that once they get this bursary, in the following year they don't apply. It is because they didn't read the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions says the bursary is only for 1 year. It is only for 1 year because we get a budget for 1 year, and then we wait for the following year to get another budget. So other students, they think that once they get a bursary in 2023, in 2024, they don't have to apply. It is because they didn't read our conditions there, and therefore you will miss another opportunity to be covered on the following year. So please read those instructions. Yeah, and then you can contact us. Inquiries that will be attended to at the postgraduate bursaries application sections. It's the CHS /PGB at unisa.ac.za. So if you want to inquire about your application, this is the email address that you need to use. Inquiries related to the UNISA postgraduate bursaries process, inquiries related to the process and approval of bursary application, inquiries related to the receipt and processing of bursary contracts, post-approval awarding, and successful application. Therefore, on those ones you inquire using the DSF postgrad. Inquiries related to the processing of bursary awarding, payment of the funds and banking details linked related to campus, receipt of signed bursary contract by DSF PG bursary application section. Yeah, that's the email you'll be using. And one other thing that I wanted to emphasize to our student, we also have a challenge where we have our many students that have been approved and the bursary has been allocated, but later when they cancel their registration, they believe that the bursary is going to cover those cancelled modules. We don't do that. Because at some point we do check those who have cancelled when we do our reconciliation. We find that you have cancelled your registration, we also revoke the bursary. So it is very much important when you cancel, you check the reasons. Why are you cancelling? And then you communicate with the CGS on the reasons why are you cancelling. So they will check or verify if, according to your reason, you qualify for academic cancellation or not. Because if you go to my UNISA and then you just cancel the complete cancellation, especially when it is done, I think it's within 2 weeks. If you cancel your bursary within 2 weeks, then you are going to forfeit. And then that's where now we're going to take our bursary. So please be aware of those things. When you do your cancellation, contact your college and give those reasons, or the examination. I think it's an examination. They also know the reasons which they can offer you academic cancellation. But if you just cancel on the my UNISA, then we are going to take our bursary, and then you'll end up owing UNISA lots of money, because honors bursary is very expensive. This year, I think we are paying about 27,000. If you just cancel, then you're going to find yourself owing university 27,000. Yeah, I want to thank you so much, Program Director. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I can see from the responses in the chat that indeed financial services, there's a lot of questions around it. It is important to our students. You're welcome. If there's still things that you're not clear on, just post in the chat. Mr. Skosana and others are busy responding to those questions, so thank you for that. I am going to invite Mrs. Daisel up. She's going to speak to us about the career journey. And where we are at this stage and how it relates to the honours programs. Thank you, Mrs. Daisel. Just check you're muted.
Apologies about that. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this presentation. I'm also very grateful that we have a lot of students attending. So this morning I thought about talking about navigating your career path, and then specifically looking at strategies for postgraduate students. So my name is Lisa Daisel. I'm from the Directorate for Counselling and Career Development. Okay, so getting started, I just wanted to talk a bit about career choice misconceptions. So these are kind of beliefs that we hold about our careers, and often it impacts in terms of that we could have unrealistic expectations, as well as make poor decisions in terms of our career. So one of the first most important misconceptions is once and done. So the belief that you make a single career choice, for example, when you start studying, you imagine that you would want to be, let's say, a clinical psychologist, and then you stick with that for life. But in reality, many people change careers multiple times during their lives. Then the second misconception, high income equals job satisfaction. So there may be an assumption that a high-paying job will automatically lead to job satisfaction. But as we can imagine, job satisfaction is influenced by various other factors. So think about things like your work-life balance, your salary, the company that you work for, the culture that is there. Then another misconception includes prestige equals happiness. So this idea that a prestigious or a job that other people view as a very esteemed kind of job will bring happiness and fulfillment. So happiness also depends on how the job that we do or the career that we are following aligns with our personal values as well as our interests, rather than the society's perceptions around a specific job or career. Then also a very important misconception is that there is only one right path for me. In truth, all of us often have multiple paths to success, and it's essential that you find your a job or your career choices that align to your skills, your interests, and your goals. Then also quick success, so the belief that career success happens overnight. Unfortunately, most successful careers require time, effort, and also continuous development. Then also something very important is our concept around that there are limited opportunities. So the job market is quite diverse. There's a wide range of possibilities, and it is essential that you explore and research to find the best fit. And I will talk a bit about that later in my presentation. Then degrees guarantee jobs. So often we think that once I've got my qualification, I'm almost guaranteed that I will be able to get a job in a chosen field. So while education and further degrees are very valuable, and in some instances they are a requirement to work in a specific field, securing a job often requires additional factors, for example, your networking and getting practical experience. Then another aspect that we can look at is follow your passion, ignore practicality. So there's this idea that you should always follow your passion, even if it doesn't lead to a stable career. So what we need to keep in mind is to have that balance between passion as well as the job stability and the financial security. Then changing careers is impossible. So often people think that changing careers later in life is very difficult or it's unrealistic, but there are many people that successfully transition to careers or new careers with the right planning and support. And then lastly, I think especially important in our context, no need for continuous learning. So once you've completed your degree and you start working, there's no need for you to learn or develop new skills. So of course, with today's world of work, where things change quite quickly, continuous learning is crucial for planning and managing your career successfully. So just some questions that you could think about depending on where you are in your journey. What type of opportunities are you preparing for? Have you thought about very critically, have you done enough research? Have you talked to enough people to determine what type of opportunities you are preparing for? Also exploring the different options. What are the things that you can do with the qualifications you have or the qualifications that you are currently busy with? What type of contribution do you want to make to your community with your qualification? And then also a very important question, how do you start preparing, or how have you started preparing to be the future you? What are some of the choices or the decisions that you need to start making in terms of preparing for those opportunities and becoming the kind of professional that you would want to be? So career development at postgraduate level, some questions that could help you reflect on your journey. When you started with your qualification, whether it be at the undergrad level or when you thought about or you started with your honours degree, what did you hope for when you started your career journey? Then also importantly, thinking about where are you now? What are the things that you're thinking about? Coming back to the previous slide, looking at the kind of opportunities you would want to prepare for. Where are you now? And then importantly, how do you build a bridge, or how do you connect where you are now with your future career vision? So I'm just going to quickly go through some of the career development, let's call them ingredients. So if we want to use a metaphor of baking a cake, these are some of the ingredients that we can look at. So we look at defining short-term as well as long-term career goals, exploring different career options, building your professional network, developing key skills, and then also job searching. So if we look at defining short-term and long-term career goals, we start by doing self-reflection. So start by reflecting on your values, your interests, your strengths, and your weaknesses. What are you passionate about? What are your core values and priorities? What are the things that are important for you in terms of your career? Also consider your skills and your experiences. What are you good at, and what experiences have you enjoyed in the past and would want to build on? And then lastly, think about your personal and your professional aspirations. Where do you see yourself in the short term? So maybe a 1 to 3 year goals, and then also long term, looking more towards 5 to 10 years from now. So identifying short-term goals, these normally cover the next 1 to 3 years of your career. Focus on skills development, networking, building a foundation for your long-term goals. For example, your short-term goal might be to complete your honors degree, gain a specific amount of work experience, or then to secure an internship or a job in your desired field. Then long-term goals span 5 to 10 years or more and often involve broader career aspirations. So think about where you want to be in your career at a more advanced stage. Do you see yourself, for example, in a leadership role? Do you want to run your own business, or are you pursuing a specific specialization in your field of study? So long-term goals, again, should align with your values, and they provide a very important sense of purpose in terms of the career decisions that you constantly need to make as you continue on your journey. Then some of you may have heard about the concept of SMART goals. So when we look at goals, be smart about those goals. So goals need to be specific. So you need to clearly define what it is that you want to achieve. They need to be measurable, so establish metrics to track your progress. Achievable, set goals that are realistic and attainable. Goals should also be relevant, so ensure that your goals align with your career interests and your values. And then also very importantly, time-bound, so specify a time frame for achieving each goal. So just to give you an example, a specific goal would be, I aim to secure a research position in a social science research institute. Measurable, I will apply to at least 10 research institutes. Achievable, I will enhance my research skills by taking additional courses, attending workshops and seeking guidance from lecturers and other professionals. Relevant, the goal aligns with my passion for social science research and my desire to contribute to the field. And then lastly, time-bound, I will secure a research position by 1 January 2025. So this is what we mean when we talk about SMART goals. Then once you've got your goals drafted, it's important to seek feedback and guidance. So share your goals with mentors, career counselors, or other trusted colleagues, friends, family for feedback and guidance. They can definitely provide you with valuable insights and help you to refine your goals. And then keep in mind that career goals are not set in stones. So as your circumstances change and you gain new experiences, you need to be open to be able to revise and adapt those goals to align to whatever it is that changed. Then the second ingredient that I mentioned is exploring career options. So you've got access to a lot of, even I want to say an overwhelming amount of career information online through people that you meet through your professional network. So think about the places or the platforms that you can use to do research about the career option. So these might include career information websites, job websites, professional platforms such as LinkedIn. Volunteering is also a valuable way for you to explore different career options. Professional associations, so take a look at what associations are related to your career goals as well as your field of study. And then also informational interviews. So those are structured conversations that you have with people in the fields that you're interested in to get more information to help you clarify your career goals, but then also gather more information about how you can achieve those goals. And then again, importantly, is to keep track of and also reflect on the information that you find. Then building a strong professional network is also a very important part of your career journey. And something to keep in mind is that networking is about building mutually beneficial relationships. So in a networking situation, you always need to think about what is it that I can contribute, but also then how can others contribute to my career development. So as you start or as you continue with your networking, clarify what it is that you want to get out of networking. For example, are you looking for a mentor? Do you want to advance in your current career? Do you need more information about new opportunities? Do you need industry insights? So having those clear goals will definitely help you to have more effective conversations with other people in your network, or to even start looking for people to add to your network. So important things to remember is to provide value. So for example, you could offer your assistance or you could share information with your network when you can. Being helpful can definitely strengthen your professional relationships. You also need to keep in mind that you need to be consistent. So networking is an ongoing process. It's not something that you will do just once. You need to regularly nurture your contacts or your connections by staying in touch, sharing updates, and also maintaining a strong online presence. And then also be authentic and grateful. So authenticity is crucial in building trust with your network. Be yourself and also express gratitude for the support and the opportunity that your network provides. And whatever it is that you get, keep in mind that you can also pay that forward. So also provide opportunities for other people. So how do you start or how do you continue building your professional network? Start with who you know. So leverage your existing contacts. So these could be colleagues, people who are studying with you, your friends, your family members, your neighbors. Talk to them about your career goals and seek their advice or introductions to other people. Networking events, for example, attending industry conferences, seminars, workshops, also alumni events and networking events offered by professional associations. Online networking, I spoke earlier a bit about LinkedIn to help you gather career information, but of course it can also be used to identify people that you can add to your network so that you can expand your network. Then informational interviews, so I spoke about it also being a part of gathering career information or doing research, but it is also helpful in terms of expanding your network. Volunteering for projects or committees or events within your industry or community. Again, that is a way for you to build your network, and then also joining online groups or forums. Participating in those forums or online groups will also help you again to identify further people that you can get in contact with. Then another piece or another ingredient that you can add to bake your cake is to develop key skills. So remember earlier I spoke about the concept of lifelong learning. So it's important to identify the skills that you want or that you need to develop. So these could be more technical skills, for example, computer skills or even advanced skills like programming or data analysis. But also don't forget about the soft skills, for example, communication, leadership, teamwork. So think about what skills do you need to develop and use the research that you did to guide you, which skills you would want to focus on first. Then again, coming back to this, defining SMART goals for developing those skills, creating a learning plan. So think about the big skills that you would want to learn. How can you break them up into smaller milestones? And then to seek learning resources. So identify the resources or learning materials that can help you acquire the skills. So some of those skills might already be developed as part of your formal studies, but also look beyond your formal studies, for example, further online courses or tutorials, books, workshops, seminars that you could attend to develop those skills. Then as you are developing the skills, also remember to try and apply those skills in real life scenarios. So I'm just going to use an example of, let's say you are a volunteer in an organization. That would be the kind of organization where you could then look for opportunities to apply your skills in real life situations. And then joining online courses and certifications. So the online courses or certification programs that have structured learning or assessments, and also your degree studies can help you to put what you are learning into practice. And then very importantly, build a portfolio. So think about how you are able then to showcase all this work that you've put in, projects that you've completed or achievements that you've reached, and how to put them together into a portfolio that you're also then able to share with others. Then the last ingredient that I want to talk about, I'm not going to go into great detail with this, but I thought I will just highlight some issues. So it's important in terms of job searching that you research and target your search. So start by researching industry, companies, and roles that align with your skills, your interests, and your values, and focus then your job search on those positions that might be a good fit for your qualifications together with your skills, your interests, and your values. Optimizing your resume or your CV and cover letter. So make sure that you've got some kind of baseline to work from, a basic CV or resume and cover letter. But then it's important that as you are applying for positions or further training opportunities, that you then highlight the relevant skills and experiences and adapt this basic document for each position that you're applying for. Then creating an online presence, it's important for you to think about how you position yourself online, especially on a professional network such as LinkedIn. So think about, how you would ensure that your profile is complete, that you have a professional photo, that you are sharing relevant content, and also engaging with industry professionals on these platforms. Then coming back to your network, so use your professional network to uncover job opportunities and gather insights and information about what might be available, and let people know that you are job hunting. Ask for referrals or introductions. Also explore multiple job search channels, so don't rely just on one job search method. Use multiple channels, for example, job boards, company websites, networking events, as well as recruiters. And then, of course, you need to be able to prepare for interviews. So think about how you would want to practice to prepare for interviews, how you are going to do research about the company that you're applying to or going to an interview for, and then also prepare questions to ask the interviewer. So just ending off thinking about the future, it's very important to take some time to think about what you need to progress in your career. So I always, or actually as the directorate, we encourage students to take a very proactive approach in terms of managing your career. If you are considering further studies, what type of qualification will be most appropriate for you? Will it be necessary, for example, to pursue a master's or even a PhD? Do you need to go back to the drawing board and think about those key skills? Is a degree the best way for you to develop those? Do you need to get work experience? So those are the kind of things that you need to think about. And then also, what are the things that you need to start doing now to prepare for the future? So coming back again to, for example, do you need to identify some volunteer work experiences, or do you need to expand your network? So just on a closing note, I just want to normalize this experience. I've shared quite a lot of information with you. So it is quite normal at this stage to feel disconnected to your future career goals. You might also be scared or worried that you will not make it. For example, being selected for the masters, getting a job, getting a new job. You might also feel that you are stuck, that you're making the wrong decisions, or that there's no way out. You might also feel that you have lost confidence in yourself and you think that you are not even a suitable person for this career. and also normal to feel that the future is quite uncertain at different levels, and that the reality is maybe different from what you have heard or envisioned. So all of these feelings that we have about our careers also impact or affect how we make career choices and decisions, how we sit down and do research or develop skills. So on that note, I want to invite all of you. You are more than welcome to contact us at any stage in your career journey. Excuse me, whether you are still studying, whether you're thinking about studying, whether you are thinking about further studies, email us, send us an email to counselling@unisa.ac.za. You're also welcome to book an online appointment on Microsoft Teams. I will also drop these links in the chat for you. And then also contacting a counsellor at a regional office to make an appointment for counselling in person. Then our website at unisa.ac.za/counselling contains a lot of resources that you can also use to manage your career development process, and our YouTube channel at youtube.com/UNISA careers. Also, we post a lot of presentations and events that we've participated in on that platform. So please go and take a look at what is available, and feel free to contact us at any stage. On that note, all the best for your journey, and we hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ms. Stacel. This has been really helpful. I think you can see that from the students' responses as well. Those of you participating, as she said, the links will be posted in the chat. And just to say, I know there's questions about, can you get access to what was presented? Yes, don't worry, you will get access to it. Again, it is being recorded and it will be made available if you need to go back to some of these helpful insights that were shared. We always find it really important to also make space for the voice of those that went through our honors programs at open days like this, our alumni, our former students. And I want to give an opportunity to Ms. Nathma to speak to you today. Ms. Sami Nathma, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Good day, everybody. I am Nathma Sami. I'll be sharing a little bit about my CHS journey as an alumni and what I experienced and any advice I can share with you. It will be building on a lot of what Miss Lisa said, but I hope that you do find something valuable, and also maybe you can really understand what the process actually is, and when you encounter real difficulties, you don't become too scared, because I can really honestly say I was scared throughout my honors process, but throughout it, I really developed resilience, and I also developed a lot of skills that I took into the future. So if you can allot me 1 second, I'll just share my presentation. Okay, I will be turning off my camera just to stabilize my internet connection, but you will see me again towards the end of the presentation. Please tell me if my presentation is visible.
The presentation is visible. It's not in, there it is in presenter view now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Program Director. Okay, so I'm currently completing my honours degree in psychology for professional purposes, and my intent is to pursue a master's degree in the sphere of psychology with UNISA. So to share a little bit about my journey towards becoming an alumni, it started with a desire to make a difference and wanting to learn how to make a difference within the constraints of the different spheres and aspects of the life that we are living in and the different contexts that we experience. So after investigating many options and many different universities, I found that UNISA would be the place that would really help me realize my dreams. So I set off to complete my bachelor's degree with UNISA, and I qualified with 29 distinctions out of the 30 modules. And after that, I obviously was really motivated to continue my studies with UNISA. So I started my journey with my honors degree at UNISA, and I was very fortunate to be selected for the Grow Your Own Timber initiative, which is spearheaded by Professor Nkosi. But before becoming part of this program, I have to be honest, I was teaching English and Afrikaans as a language coach, and I was working about 8 hours a day. And I think that will give some information as to why UNISA was the perfect fit. I basically had to balance working and studying at the same time. And without a doubt, it was so difficult to meet these deadlines and prioritize my studies at the same time, especially also when it went on to honors. I realized that there is a little bit more of a weight that you have to balance. But like Professor Nkosi said at the beginning of the presentation, you do have options and you can spread out your modules. And I took that opportunity where I split my honors degree into 2 years, and I really don't regret it. So from there, like I said, there was many challenges and there was many obstacles towards achieving the results that I wanted. But I'm sure that every student does face this. But as I continued in the Grow Your Own Timber initiative at the university, I started to put my studies into perspective, and I started to learn more and more transferable skills like stress management, coping, communication skills, as well as different ways to achieve a good work, study, and life balance. So let's take a look at some of the challenges, what I like to now call growth opportunities, that often gets us all down as lifelong students. So the first challenge is understanding what to do in a world and study environment that is sometimes plagued by unpredictability and unreliability. Now, this can be anything from load shedding for the 6th time in a day, or having some technical issues as you want to submit an assignment just before the deadline. And I think every student does experience this at some stage. Secondly, there's often a lot of confusion about the channels of communication available to us. And when this is not clear, it's also very difficult to understand who to contact, when to contact them, and ultimately to also feel optimistic about receiving help. Thirdly, studying is a commitment. So when do we get time to gain experience and make the networks that we need to enter the job market? These are some of the biggest challenges that I faced, or that I questioned, or the things that I was questioning when I began my journey, especially when it came to my honors. But the best thing about all these challenges is that they can be solved. So let's take a look at what happened when some of the challenges in my life I was able to solve by making some changes. And a lot of the changes, I have to be honest, is really informed by the advice that Miss Lisa offered in her presentation. So I really, really thought that that was fantastic. So moving on, what you will see in my own journey was within a few months later, my first examination period ensued within my honors degree. And in contrast to previous years, I did find I was better prepared. And by the end, I received distinctions for all the modules that I was registered for in my first year. In addition, many exciting opportunities, such as a chance to present a gamification CPD session at UNISA, opportunities to understand new technologies and join AI research working groups at UNISA also began to become realized. The opportunity to also support initiatives focused on youth and climate concerns also occurred, and this resulted in me co-authoring a position paper that would be launched by WWF, CAN South Africa, and the Presidential Climate Commission. And it was followed by also becoming a panelist and a presenter at the local conference of Youth South Africa. My year was crowned by being asked to be a keynote speaker at a women's event in celebration of civil servants, NPOs, and NGOs, in particular the women of SAPS that are dedicated to GBV reduction, response, and survivor support and protection, which was really amazing for me, especially to see how the different initiatives were coming to life when it came to gender-based violence and how to reduce it within my local community. So what was the difference? Firstly, I was working in a really good working environment, being UNISA, that now prioritized education and uplifting and upskilling employees. Secondly, the tasks that I was given in my work role also began to equip me with much needed life skills. And this is something that I started to learn, that when I have a certain work responsibility, finding ways to transfer the skills that I've learned in that environment then also to my study environment. And thirdly, I also started to learn to practice what I want to preach one day as a mental health care worker, which is self-care. And I'm sure many of these skills, as I stated, that we hear of them all the time. But I promise, when I started my honors degree, they really, really started to make a difference when I actually implemented them. So let's take a look at them. We can take a look at time management, asking for help, setting schedules, attending training sessions offered, and we'll see that they are all key ingredients. So when it starts off with creating something like a study timetable, which is based on your assignment dates, that can be a really, really good first step. I also tried to finish tasks a little bit ahead of time in case I needed clarity or assistance from lecturers. And this is a really, really good thing to do, because if you are able to complete a task or just complete a certain section of certain assignments that you receive beforehand, and you can then contact the lecturer, you also understand that the lecturer isn't really under a lot of strain as they are towards the deadline of a specific assignment, and you can really, really get some good advice and guidelines and guidance as well. And you also have the time to make the necessary adjustments to any assignments that you need to submit, or if you need to be preparing for an examination. Other than that, I also started with setting smaller goals that aligned with Miss Lisa's SMART goals, and that served as a great, great motivation. So goals like studying a module for 45 minutes a day, maybe 3 days a week, that usually worked super well. So even if I fell short and I was only able to study a certain module 45 minutes, maybe only one session a week as opposed to 3, it was still better than nothing. The next step was I started to force myself to become a little bit more comfortable with making contact, as I said, with the lecturers and asking them questions. Even when I felt the questions were maybe a little bit silly or not really important, I still asked them. And I also became comfortable with asking for help from family and friends. The importance of asking questions and also asking for help is that it also provides you with some feedback, and this feedback helps you to also monitor your own progress and find ways to improve when it comes to your study and when it comes to your life. Another advantage is that networking opportunities also start to open up when you start to ask questions and when you do ask for feedback from different individuals. And it also plays in hand with not only asking for help, but also offering help when you see other individuals surrounding you or maybe struggling with a particular thing and they do need assistance. So with time management and communication skills covered, I think let's examine the next thing that I found quite useful or quite necessary in my alumni journey, which was resources and accessing and using resources effectively. So at UNISA, something that I really noticed, and I noticed it more often with my postgraduate studies than my degree in psychology, was that there is so many training sessions available to postgraduate students, such as academic writing and data analysis workshops. And these workshops are usually offered regularly, so they are repeated. So I started to set a goal, and my goal was to attend at least one session a month on offer. Of course, if you can increase that, that's fantastic. Another key tool I learned to use was Moodle, especially in relation to checking announcements under each module regularly. And this was really important because it kept me up to date and it gave me more opportunities and reminders to engage with my studies on a continuous basis. Last but certainly not least, I want to come back to self-care, which is the foundation and the sustenance of a successful academic career and of a good life. So the last thing I have learned, and I think I'm still continuing to learn, is not to forget to take care of yourself or myself in the learning process. This means forcing yourself to exercise, following a diet that is as healthy as possible, and getting a good night's rest. These things should never ever be overlooked, as they really provide us with stress relief and coping mechanisms. And it's also important to remember that exercise is not only equated to going to the gym or doing something that's really laborious and really boring as well, but it can be fun. It can be something like dancing, swimming, or even taking up a new sport or hobby. So, to sum it up, I would say the best thing to do in your postgraduate studies is to try to plan ahead, to set goals, to ask questions, to get and offer support to individuals around you, and of course, always take care of your own well being within the process. As academic success, you will see, and I think everyone already has seen in the studies before making it to honors, it doesn't really occur in a vacuum. It rather relies on establishing the best quality of life possible within the constraints of your environment, and also achieving the best academic results as possible within the constraints of your environment. And while things like load shedding, they really can't be controlled, when you do create a timetable that is ahead of time, it will provide you with ample opportunities to catch up rather than fall behind and then be plagued with anxiety and stress that will ensue. So, in conclusion, the journey is not going to be easy. I'm still finding my feet myself, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And if you don't give up, but you rather find ways to survive and adapt, you're definitely going to finish the crossing line as as a UNISA alumni, and you're going to have transferable skills and resources that you can use and that you can leverage to pave your way to success. So thank you, dear audience, for your time, and thank you to people like Professor Nkosi and Ms. Zuzeka, who continuously strive to find ways to help to grow and strengthen the UNISA body of alumni. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Masami. I think we're all inspired. We might be feel a little bit inferior now, but it's really wonderful to hear what can happen out of the student journey and where things can lead to. So thank you for sharing that, and I hope that many of us have taken a cue from some of the tips of what it means to, or what's required to become a really, really successful student. I am going to ask Mrs. Marlies Prinsloo to take the floor next. Mrs. Prinsloo, for many of us, is really the rock star of honor student support, and particularly around questions of admissions and registrations. She's been around for a long time, and many of us here have really learned how to navigate this space from her. So it's a privilege for us to invite her to the floor. Marlies, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Cobus, for that introduction. As you've heard, I'm Marlies Prinsloo from Hagat. I am doing all the applications and assisting with everything that you will need for your application, how to submit, who has to apply, and so forth. Also, I am going to take off my camera in order to share my presentation. I hope it's in order with you. Just indicate for me, please, if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first of all, applications close the 13th of October. It's imperative for you to apply by the latest of 13 October, because after 13 October, we will not be able to assist you with any application. How does the application process work? You have to apply online only. Okay, please apply for 2 qualifications, like Professor van Wijngaard indicated there in the chat box, so that you have more options available for you. If one application do get declined due to enrollment management or whatever the case may be, that you still have the other option available for you. Who must apply for admission? This is a tricky question for a lot of students, as you've seen also in the chat. When you are in your final year or semester,
of completing your undergraduate qualification or other qualification, and you want to change, in other words, you want to go into an honours qualification or change your honours qualification, you have to apply. If you don't have, how we can also say it, if you don't have a record of that honours or that qualification that you want to pursue, please apply always, okay? Rather apply and then get a message, listen, you don't need to apply, then have no application or no record, and then we will not be able to assist you. How do you apply? We only accept online applications, unfortunately, but due to COVID and so forth, everybody did get onto the board here, so everybody is applying correctly, and we do get quite a lot of applications. Yes, you have to submit your academic record if you are from another institution. If you are completing your qualification at UNISA, we will be able to finalize your application, since we will have the records and results available to us. In your final year, just indicate you're a final year student, submit all the required documents like your SAQA, like the ID document, the academic record, and the latest academic record. When you have your final academic record, then only you submit that, but we cannot consider your application if you do not submit a official academic record, even with the last results, even if it states the results still outstanding. We do need those, or else we cannot accept the application. The fees and funding were discussed now. Only what I wanted to say or to indicate to you, we do not consider any application if the application fee was not paid. It is 135 payable with the application. After you have applied, we receive the application, we evaluate it, and with the evaluation, it comes also, we refer applications to the academic department for additional consideration, or we finalize it ourselves, or we make additional recommendation to students in order always to assist the students. We do not just decline as from the start. We will rather assist the students by referring or sending additional correspondence to the student in order to assist you with your application. Okay. Additional information, what is important, if you want to do additional modules for non-degree purposes in order to gain admission towards your honours, you have to apply for the honours degree. We will refer it to the academic department for a recommendation to do certain modules for non-degree purposes. We cannot do or approve an application without this permission letter from the academic department. So you cannot register or apply without this permission letter. So you have to apply for the honours qualification. We will change the application to non-degree purposes, but only on receipt of that permission letter. Always remember that the admission requirement for the honours qualification is an average of 60% or more. If you have any further inquiries regarding your application, we will be always able to assist you if you write an email to artsons@unisa.ac.za. I hope I will be able also to assist you in the chat box for any further assistance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marlies, for that. That brings us to the final stages of our day today, and I'm going to hand over to Ms. Annette Solomons to facilitate our Q&A session. There might be questions from the chat that we will speak to, or there might be questions that you still have, and you're welcome to ask them. We will try to assist them. So I ask all the speakers, please just remain available so that we can draw on your insights should the questions require that we ask you to just come back and explain something a little bit more. So Nate, can I hand over to you to take us through the next section?
thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Sunit Solomon. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Political Sciences here at the University of South Africa, and I'm super pleased to be sharing this day with all of you. There have been numerous questions in the chat, so what I'm going to be doing is we're just going to go through some of the frequently asked questions. Thereafter, we'll move on to some of the other questions that you might have. And so one of the questions that kept popping up was one of the
Sunit,
students
can I
wanted to-
interrupt you for a moment?
Yes.
My sincere apologies for doing this, but I know once we start with Q&A, then some of you are going to decide that maybe you've had enough of this day. Please, before you leave, just note the survey form in the chat. So we would really love for all of you to give feedback on this. So don't leave without filling in the survey form. My sincere apologies, Sunit. I don't like doing this, but I didn't want anyone to miss that. We do really want their feedback.
No, that's okay. These things happen, and I think it's always important to like share this information because it helps us improve on how we do things next year and so on. So one of the questions that was asked in the chat was whether students still had the option of changing their application after they've submitted it. There was a student who indicated that she applied for 2 options, but she's thinking of changing her options. So I was wondering if maybe Marlies could just assist us with just answering that question before we move on to the next one.
Yes, but only if you send an email to artsons@unisa.ac.za. We will be able there to assist the student as far as possible.
Thanks so much for that, Marlies. There was another question that I thought was There was another question that I thought was, hi, colleagues, colleagues, did you want to say something? All right, awesome. So there is another question that one of the students posed, which I also thought was quite important. There was a student that asked whether it was possible for them to skip an honors degree and go straight to a master's degree. I know that this is possible for the students who've done an LLB because it's a 4-year degree, and in that instance you can move over to an LLM, but how many of our degrees in the CHS have that opportunity where you can skip over from your bachelor's to doing your master's straight?
Domain Sarah, please. Hello?
Yes, can we help you? Okay, Marlies, would you be able to assist us with that question? How many of our degrees allow for that?
We only consider 4-year qualifications because we will need a 4-year qualification in order for the masters, because the admission requirement for the honors obviously is a completed NQF level 7 qualification. So the honors is NQF level 8. Obviously, NQF level 8 qualification is required for the masters. So all these queries we can refer to the academic department for consideration or recommendation. We have quite a lot of students who completed a BTech at TUT, and then they apply for the Masters in Communication Science. Normally also we do get recommendations where the students can do 1 or 2 honors modules just to gain admission then to the Masters. But a normal NQF level 7 cannot give admission to a Masters because it must be a NQF level 8, completed NQF level 8. I hope that will assist you.
Thanks so much. It really does. If I could just piggyback off that question, another question that we received both in the Q&A as well as the chat function was whether it was possible to move from a BTech to doing your honors degree and not finishing a degree. So I just wanted to know whether that was possible. And an additional question that one of the other students wanted to find out was, based on the minimum requirement, some degrees have 60% minimum requirement for an honors, other degrees have a 65% minimum requirement for the honors, but they're also taking into consideration that some of their degrees are very competitive. So there was a student who asked realistically, that was her question, yes, what should her honors be, her mark be for her bachelor's degree if she is considering doing an honors in psychology, and what is the minimum amount of students that is accepted into that degree program? So if any of our colleagues could assist with that, I think that would be great. Thank you.
I'm going to give over to Cobus maybe to assist here. If possible, Cobus, please.
Sorry, I was just kind of responding to another question quickly. Just help me, Sunette.
Hi, Quibus. One of the students just wanted to find out. So the minimum requirement for some of the degrees is 60, and for some of the other degrees, it's 65. But there was one student who took into consideration how competitive a degree program such as psychology is, and she wanted to know more or less what should her average be, because I know from my own personal studies that they say like you should have 70, 75, and then what if the top, they can only take 5 students, and what if that minimum or their minimum requirements are then 80? Do those students with the 60s and 65 still get considered?
So to qualify for an honors qualification at UNISA, you need an average of 60. The 65, I think, I read that chat, I think that's just from past reporting that generally at 65 students only get in. The qualifying percentage is 60. In some of our qualifications, primarily in the honors psychology, it is a competitive ranking process to get admission. And that means that although there's a number of factors considered, mostly it is academic performance, and we make offers in the end from the top performers down, which would mean that if you are very close to that 60 or closer to that 60 qualifying mark, your chances of getting an offer is smaller. But that's why we do offer allow students to apply for 2 qualifications. So our recommendation is always, if you know where you want to go, even if you're unsure whether you will get a place, do apply for that, but apply for something else where there's less of a competitive nature to get into those qualifications as well. For 2024 in CHS, the only qualification where there is a real, what we call ranking going to happen, is the honors in psychology. That's the one qualification where, unfortunately, historically, we cannot accommodate all students. So if you are applying for the honors in psychology, apply for something else. Anything else in CHS, our other qualifications are open, and all our other qualifications, except for one potentially, but that's not really relevant for this conversation, we will be having space for you.
Thank you so much for that very comprehensive overview, Quibus. There was another question, and I think this one is particularly important as there might be other students going through something similar. One of the students asked that, or said that they were in their final year of their diploma in correctional management and wanted to find out whether they would be able to qualify for an honors degree.
I think that question was answered where the Mr. Mutsepe indicated that the student must rather than apply for the advanced diploma firstly.
Okay, thank you so much, Marlies. And then one of our last questions was, and this was one of the most frequently asked questions, was when students are in their final year of their BA, should they then start applying for their honors degree? And the answer to this question is definitely yes, especially for those who have 1 or 2 modules that they have. You would note that from some of the presentations, they did indicate that you do need to submit your final results from your other university to the respective college, and also the respective schools, should you need to submit your final results. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then one of the other questions was, how do they get involved in the Gayot initiative? So if we could just have like maybe an answer to that, and then I think we can wrap up the Q&A section, because I think most of the questions have been answered. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation, colleagues. I wish that you all stay warm in this weather, and for those who are in hot weather, please stay cool and take care of yourselves.
Cobus, if I can please come in just a little bit.
I was about to tag you and ask if you can quickly just come into on some of those last points.
Thank you very much. I answered one of the questions about the being part of the Grow Your Own Timber, but I see there's another one. So students, how the Grow Your Own Timber project works depends on the departments. So what we normally do, I send an email out to the departments to ask if they need any assistance. And depending on your department, if they need assistance, then I contact students and I ask for CVs. So for those that might be interested, and if your departments do need postgraduate student support, you will be considered. I will call you for interviews. But for those that are interested, I'm going to put my email address on the chat. You can just send me an email and then I'll provide you with more details. It's not a promise of anything, but it's good for you to have it so that when this happens, I have you in mind as first people to consider. So I'm going to post my email address on the chat and then you can contact me. Thank you, Gobas.
Thank you very much. I do see there's one hand up. I'm not sure if that's a question that we might have not responded to. And I see one person in the chat writing that it was not answered, but I'm not exactly sure what that refers to. So let's quickly just confirm if there's any outstanding questions still. So Hadia, if I see your hand is up, if there is something that you want to perhaps ask verbally, you are welcome.
Hi there, thank you very much. I do have a question though. It is regarding, I'm in my final year now, actually my final semester. I'm doing a Bachelor of Arts in, my two majors are English and Linguistics. And I applied for my honors, but I noted that with my, with the application, it allowed me to do it allowed me to choose a Bachelor of Education honors, with my specialization being language education and arts and culture. And I haven't received notification via my UNISA email to say that I've been accepted for that application. But I have been accepted for my alternate application. So I'm not really sure. Is it because the specialization is for linguistics that I'm in, that I was just accepted for the second one and not the first one?
If I can quickly come in, and at least you can correct me, but the B.Ed honors, similar to the honors in psychology, is a competitive qualification. So that offers us generally made later, after we've been able to see what the entire pool of applicants look like. So it's not strange that you would have received response on one application, but not on the other one yet.
Yes, you are quite correct, Cobus.
Thanks. Colleagues, I'm going to allow space that we quickly take these hands, so that we do try to address all questions. And I'm if you're able to ask your question in the chat, that would help us, because then that's quicker for us to address. But if you feel that it's impossible to write it down, we want to create a space for you to just quickly raise those. We will finish this session by 12 o'clock at the latest. I'm just going on the names that you have on Teams. If that's wrong, please, you're welcome to just introduce yourself. Tunisi TB.
Good morning, colleagues. I just want to know, I did an application. I'm doing a bachelor's degree in information science. I'm in my final year now. So I did my application, so I need to know if there is a fee that I need to pay after the application that I've done. And also, do I wait now to get my results before I can apply for the honors?
Please come in, Maries.
When you are a new student, you have to pay the application fee, the 135. But if you are a current UNISA student and you are busy completing your qualification at UNISA, this application fee is not applicable. That's the one thing of the information science query that you wanted. And the other one, just come again with your second query.
Okay, I also asked if I need to wait now to get my results before I can apply for the honors degree.
No, don't wait for your results. Please apply before the 13th of October for the honors qualifications. We will keep your application. We will pend it from our side until we have the final results. So that is not an issue from our side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Naomi?
Thank you, Tim. My question is that I already have honors in industrial and organizational psychology. I'm busy finalizing, I'm on my final year for counseling psychology. The question that I have was, is it possible that I go straight to do masters, or do I still have to do honors under counseling? That was the clarity that I needed from you, Tim. Thank you.
Okay, please apply for the master's and or honors qualification. We will refer both of these applications through to the department for consideration and a recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Jabulile. Jabulile, you'll have to unmute if you want to just raise that question. It looks like we are at the end of the day. I want to make one comment, perhaps. Tandeka, please come in before I speak. I just saw your hand go up. So those of you with your hands up, if you're not going to unmute, then we're not going to be able to hear you. Then I'm going to request that you rather put your question. Tandeka,
Hi, how are you?
hear from you. Yes.
Yes, I have a question. So I was supposed to be doing my final year for psychology, BA in psychology this year, but then I couldn't be registered for my fifth module, so it's overlapped to the next year. So it means I'll be doing my final semester next year. So my question is, when should I apply for honors?
Only in your final year of completing the qualification will we be able to consider your application for the honors.
So that will be next year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for all the questions. If I can make one comment just from experience and just from listening to some of the questions. If you are unsure about any of these permutations of continuing with your studies, when unsure, do apply. I think that's important at this stage. Applications are still open for 1 week. So if you wonder, will I be accepted into something, or can I do a particular qualification given where I'm coming from? Do rather apply. At worst, you can get a note that says, no, you cannot get into this application, but here is the route that you would need to take. But don't sit on the sidelines wondering. Get your application in if you have not yet, and then we can formally consider it. Many of these slightly odd options, we actually need to send them down to academic departments for an individual feedback. There isn't a single answer. So rather get the application in so that you have the correct and the final answer. And don't work on rumors. Don't let someone else tell you whether you can get admitted at UNISA or not. Go through the process and get the correct answer through the correct channels. Would be my final summary, little bit of advice, if I may use this platform. I am then going to hand over to Mr. Solani to give us a vote of thanks and to close this day for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Program Director Kobus, for that opportunity. My name is Asisipo Solani, and I'm a lecturer in the politics department, particularly in the African politics. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone. I think first and foremost is to thank the presenters that came and prepared and presented, provide guidance on our honor student. And this is a very important aspect of every academic, everyone's journey, to be able to have a sense of what should happen. And I think postgrad studies is one of those studies at the level where you really begin to have full control of what you want to study, and the advice is very important. So again, thank you very much for them, for the presenters. I want to thank the students that really, first, I think it is very important to congratulate those who have completed their junior degrees that are beginning to enroll their postgraduate studies, and I wish them all the best in their future endeavors. And for those that still have to complete their examination, all the best. You should do well and be able to enter into these programs. And indeed, this is an opportunity for us to be able to reclaim the African intellectual future through this. It can be done through postgrad studies. So therefore, we thank everyone that have interest, that decided to have interest in our college to apply. We wish you all the best and enjoy your weekend. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Can I just say
everyone.
you are still welcome to leave
Thank you so
questions in the
much.
chat. They will be picked up. Please just complete the survey before you leave.
Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.